What if I told you your body's already showing secret signs you're aging better than 99% of people, and you've completely missed them? Scientists have discovered these 8 hidden markers of extraordinary longevity, and most people never recognize them until it's too late. I'm about to reveal why some people in their 80s have more energy than folks half their age. And wait until you hear sign number 5. It completely contradicts everything you've been told about getting older. Imagine discovering you're already doing something daily that the world's longest living people share. Let's dive in. Sign 1. Finding peace in solitude. Here's a truth most people miss. Your relationship with being alone is a powerful indicator of your inner strength and potential for a long, vibrant life. But wait, I'm not talking about loneliness. I'm talking about solitude. And there's a massive difference that could add years to your life. While many people frantically fill every moment with noise and distraction, you might have discovered something profound: the ability to be truly comfortable in your own company. That's not weakness. That's a superpower that researchers have linked directly to longevity. Imagine this. You take a long walk alone, and instead of feeling anxious or restless, you feel completely at peace. You enjoy a quiet cup of tea without constantly checking your phone. You move through daily chores with a sense of calm that others might find impossible to understand. Science has a fascinating take on this. Chronic loneliness accelerates aging and weakens your immune system. But solitude, it's healing. It's a mark of someone who draws strength from within, who finds contentment not by escaping the world, but by being fully anchored in themselves. When you're around others, you likely radiate a different kind of energy. You're not dragged into drama. You listen more than you speak. And when you do speak, people lean in. That's not just a personality trait. It's a survival skill that the longest living people share. This isn't something you're born with. It's something you grow into, a strength that ripens with age. If you've reached a point where being alone no longer rattles you, where silence feels like a friend instead of an enemy, you're tapping into something extraordinary. Look at the world's longest living communities, from Okinawa to Sardinia. They share a common thread: a deep sense of inner calm, a spiritual anchoring that goes beyond constant external validation. Your ability to find peace in solitude isn't just a quirk. It's a powerful indicator that your body and mind are built to last. Remember to drop a 1 in the comments if you recognize this sign in yourself. Sign 2. Waking up without an alarm clock. Here's a surprising hint that you're aging like fine wine. You wake up naturally without that jarring electronic screech pulling you from sleep. And I know what you're thinking. It's just waking up. But trust me, it's so much more than that. Your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, is speaking volumes about your health. If you're in your 70s or 80s and still rising with the sunrise naturally, you're broadcasting a powerful message about your biological age versus your chronological age. Science has a lot to say about this. People who maintain regular sleep-wake cycles often have superhuman advantages: stronger immune systems, more stable blood pressure, and metabolisms that run like well-oiled machines. But it's not just about when you wake up. It's about how you feel when you do. Imagine opening your eyes feeling completely refreshed. No desperate reach for coffee. No zombie-like stumbling. Your body is saying, "I've done my job overnight." This is sleep that heals. Sleep that repairs tissues, regulates hormones, and literally cleans out toxins from your brain. I've seen this in friends who are absolutely thriving into their 90s. They don't drag themselves out of bed. They emerge naturally, moving through their morning with a calm, deliberate pace, stretching, making breakfast, easing into the day. No rush, no stress, just pure presence. Here's the deeper truth. When your body doesn't need to be forced awake, it means your sleep is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And that kind of balance, it's pure gold for longevity. So if you find yourself waking up before your alarm or realizing you haven't needed one in years, take that as a quiet confirmation. Your body is still perfectly tuned in, still working exactly the way it was designed to. And that, my friend, is nothing short of a gift. Drop a comment with the number 2 if this is resonating with you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect moment. Hit that button and turn on notifications. because we're just getting started with something even more surprising. Sign 3. Forgetting the small stuff, remembering the big things. Ever walk into a room and completely forget why you're there? Spend an extra few minutes hunting for your keys? Before you panic, listen up. Because what might seem like a memory slip is actually something far more fascinating that scientists are just beginning to understand. Here's the mind-blowing truth. Your brain isn't failing you, it's upgrading. As we age, the brain becomes incredibly selective. It's not about remembering every single detail. It's about prioritizing what truly matters for your survival and happiness. Think about it. Can you sometimes forget a random name, but vividly remember the life-changing advice your father gave you decades ago? Can you momentarily misplace your glasses, but recall exactly how your spouse looked on your wedding day? That's not forgetfulness. That's legacy. Scientific studies reveal something remarkable. Our emotional, moral, and relational memory actually stays stronger with age. This isn't about losing information. This is about distilling wisdom. Your brain is literally filtering out the noise to protect and reinforce what's meaningful. You might notice you now see the bigger picture more clearly than ever. You react less, forgive more, and reflect deeper. That's not just age talking. That's wisdom earned through years of trial, grace, and growth. Let's be real. How many of us in our 20s could have a genuine conversation about grief, forgiveness, or finding true peace? Now you can. And even if you occasionally forget a word, what you bring to the table is perspective, a grounded insight that only comes with experience. If you can comfort a loved one, lift someone's spirit, or remind a friend of their worth, your mind is doing more than fine. It's thriving where it truly matters for human connection and meaning. Living a long life isn't about counting birthdays. It's about how much meaning you carry along the way. If your memory has shifted from collecting every detail to focusing on what truly counts, that's not a flaw. It's growth. It's not forgetfulness. It's a reflection of the wisdom you've earned and the deeper story that's still unfolding. Sign 4. Complaining less than people half your age. Here's a superpower most people completely overlook: your ability to let things go. If you've caught yourself complaining less about your joints, about the news, about life's little annoyances, you're sitting on a health goldmine. That calm, low-stress outlook, it's not just pleasant, it's powerful medicine for longevity. Science is crystal clear on this. Chronic stress is brutal on the body, especially as we age. It drives up blood pressure, weakens your immune system, increases inflammation, and literally accelerates aging at the cellular level. But when you've learned to choose peace over frustration, your body doesn't just survive, it rewards you with better health. Picture this. While others get caught up in endless complaints about the weather, traffic, or how things aren't like they used to be, you find yourself thinking, actually, life's still pretty good. That mindset, it's rare, and it's healing in ways most people never discover. Negativity is like a silent poison. It tenses your muscles, shortens your breath, disrupts your digestion, and steals your sleep. But emotional peace, it soothes. It eases your heartbeat, supports your immune system, and even helps repair cells at the microscopic level. Let me tell you about Harold, an 83-year-old I once met. He'd lost his wife, most of his siblings, and much of his hearing. But every morning, he'd sit on his porch with a coffee, look at the sky, and say with a genuine smile, "Another good day." That's not denial. That's discipline. That's the strength of someone who's chosen gratitude over bitterness. This doesn't mean you never feel sadness or frustration. Of course you do. You're human. But if those feelings don't control your life, if you laugh more often than you grumble, if you've learned to shake things off and move on, you're demonstrating a survival skill more powerful than most people can imagine. When others burn out under the weight of every little problem, you keep moving forward, steady, resilient, and free. That's not just emotional health, that's biological wisdom. Sign 5. Slower steps, more mindful movement. You might have noticed your steps have gotten a little slower over time, but here's what truly matters. Are you moving more deliberately, more aware of how you walk, how you shift your weight, how you take each step? This isn't weakness. This is intelligence in motion. As we age, speed becomes far less important than control. In fact, rushing is one of the biggest causes of falls among seniors. But moving with intention, that's how you protect your body and preserve your independence for decades longer than most. When I see someone in their 70s or 80s using a handrail, not because they're frail, but because they're smart, I don't see fragility. I see wisdom in motion. This is body intelligence. This is your brain and body staying in constant, careful communication. Mindful movement isn't just about walking. It shows up in how you get out of a chair, how you reach for something on a shelf, how you navigate through a busy room without bumping into anyone. Younger folks might rush and stumble, but you move with purpose, and that protects you. People who move this way tend to avoid major injuries. They stay active longer, live independently longer, and suffer fewer setbacks. Why? Because they're not careless, they're conscious. One serious fall can derail everything, but those who live past 100 often have surprisingly few major accidents. That's not luck, that's intention. Here's a deeper truth. This kind of movement reflects mental clarity too. When your brain is functioning well, your body follows suit. You scan your surroundings, judge distances, react thoughtfully. It's a mind-body connection that's one of the most underrated keys to a long, healthy life. It's no coincidence that people who live long lives often have rituals around movement. A morning walk, stretching at sunrise, Tai Chi in the park. These aren't just exercises, they're moments of connection. Time to tune in to your body, your breath, your purpose. So if your pace has slowed but your steps are steady, if your posture is strong and your movements are intentional, you're not declining. You're adapting. You're choosing awareness over speed. In a world that often misunderstands slow as weak, here's the truth. Slow with control is one of the most powerful strengths you can have. Don't doubt your careful steps. You're not just walking. You're practicing a life-extending art. Sign 6. The power of resilience and recovery. Here's a truth that separates those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. It's not about never getting knocked down. It's about how you bounce back. Longevity isn't just about enduring what life throws at you. It's about healing. Your body and mind have an incredible, often overlooked superpower, the ability to repair, to regulate, to keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes. And you know what? That resilience isn't always about perfect biology. Sometimes it's rooted in something far more powerful: mindset. It's the decision to get up and keep moving, even when your knees are stiff or the silence feels too loud. Imagine choosing curiosity over resignation, learning to use a smartphone at 75, taking up a new hobby, calling a friend just to check in. That tiny flicker of engagement is often what separates those who merely exist from those who continue to truly live. If you found yourself still here years after the doctor who treated you is gone, still cooking dinner, laughing at reruns, fixing a leaky faucet, you're making a quiet but profound statement. I'm not done yet. I still have something to offer. And your body responds to that determination. Recovery is the real key to longevity. It's how your body instinctively knows how to regulate stress hormones, manage blood sugar levels, balance blood pressure, repair itself, seemingly from the inside out. This isn't about being invincible. It's about being adaptable. It's about that inner strength that whispers, I can handle this, when challenges arise. People who live long, vibrant lives don't just survive challenges. They learn from them. They grow through them. They see each obstacle as an opportunity to demonstrate their remarkable inner strength. That resilience you've built isn't a coincidence. It's a testament to every challenge you've faced, every difficult moment you've overcome, every time you've chosen to keep moving forward. Your body is telling a story of survival, a story of hope, a story that says loud and clear, I'm not just getting older, I'm getting stronger. And science is finally catching up to what your body already knows. Are you still with us on this journey? Type the number 6 in the comments and let us know you're part of this incredible story. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take a second to hit that button. Turn on notifications, because this is a conversation about life, about strength, about the incredible potential that lives within you. Sign 7. eating simply and stopping before you're full. If you found yourself naturally eating smaller portions, pausing before you're completely full, and gravitating toward clean, nourishing meals, you're not just aging, you're evolving in ways that could extend your life significantly. This isn't just about food, this is pure instinct. Researchers have studied the world's longest living communities, from Japan to Greece, and time and again, the common thread isn't fancy diets or trendy superfoods. It's something far more subtle: restraint, moderation, knowing exactly when enough is enough. Take the Okinawans, one of the healthiest, longest living populations on the planet. They live by a principle called hara hachi bu, which means eat until you're 80% full. That slight restraint, practiced day after day, allows their bodies to stay light, flexible, and well-functioning deep into old age. Maybe you've noticed a shift in yourself. Dessert doesn't tempt you like it once did. A small plate of food satisfies you completely. A bowl of fruit or a hot soup brings more joy than a heavy, rich meal. This isn't your appetite fading. This is your body becoming more efficient, more in tune with its needs. When you slow down to eat, really chew, really taste, really enjoy, you activate something magical. Your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. That's your body's rest and digest mode. It's the healing zone that calms you down, reduces stress hormones, and supports graceful aging from the inside out. I've seen this pattern repeatedly in people who live long, vibrant lives. They don't eat to escape boredom. They don't eat to fill emotional gaps. They eat to nourish. And they almost always eat in calm environments, at the table with intention, not in front of a screen or on the go. The benefits are incredible and well documented. Smoother digestion and less inflammation, balanced blood sugar and stable energy, lower strain on crucial organs like your heart, liver, kidneys, and brain, better absorption of nutrients that protect against age-related decline. If food has become simpler, more peaceful, and more purposeful for you, don't dismiss it as just getting older. Recognize it for what it is: a deep, intuitive wisdom, a signal that your body knows how to thrive and is doing exactly that. Sign 8. Finding joy in routine, not just novelty. We live in a world obsessed with the new gadgets, new trends, new places to visit. We're constantly told that happiness lives in change, in chasing the next big thing. But the truth? The people who live the longest, fullest lives often find their deepest joy in the familiar. If you've learned to savor your routines, those small, everyday habits that others might overlook, you've tapped into something profound that could be extending your life right now. This isn't boredom. This is strength. There's peace in predictability, a kind of rhythm that steadies the mind and nourishes the heart. Watering your plants every morning, taking a walk after lunch, listening to your favorite old radio station while making dinner. These aren't just background activities. They're anchors that research shows actually stabilize your nervous system and reduce chronic stress. People who live into their 90s and beyond often have routines they've followed for decades. And it's not just about habit, it's about meaning. Routine becomes sacred. The ordinary becomes a source of extraordinary peace. I once spoke with Edward, 87 years old, bright-eyed and steady-voiced. He told me he'd had the same breakfast every morning for over 3 decades. "It's not boring," he said with a grin. "It frees me to focus on the things that matter." That's not just philosophy. That's biology working in your favor. Structured rhythms help regulate your internal clock, leading to better sleep quality and deeper restoration, smoother digestion and nutrient absorption, a calmer, more centered mind, reduced anxiety and less cognitive decline, freed up mental bandwidth for creativity and connection. More than that, routines reduce anxiety by creating predictability in an unpredictable world. They free up your mental energy so you can focus on deeper connection, quiet reflection, and sincere gratitude. If you no longer feel the need to constantly chase novelty, if you found joy in the slow, the steady, the simple, you're not stagnating. You're flourishing. You're demonstrating a trait that correlates strongly with exceptional longevity. People who reach 100 years old often have routines that feel almost ceremonial. They eat meals at the same times, walk the same peaceful paths, greet the same familiar faces, and in that repetition, they don't find dullness. They find belonging. They find meaning. So if your days have settled into something familiar and warm, if your steps have slowed but your soul feels full, if you no longer need chaos to feel alive, don't see it as a slowdown. See it as arrival. You've arrived at something extraordinary. As we come to the end of our journey, maybe one of these signs struck a chord. Maybe several felt surprisingly familiar. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even your 80s, and you see yourself reflected in these stories, hear this clearly. You're doing better than you think. These signs aren't flashy. They don't demand attention, but they are powerful. They point to a kind of strength that isn't built in gyms or hospitals. It's built in kitchens, backyards, living rooms. One mindful moment at a time. You don't need to run marathons or chase youthful dreams to live to 100. Sometimes the strongest proof of vitality is quiet. It's how you handle stress with grace, how you eat with intention, how you move with awareness, how you still find joy in the ordinary again and again. So tell me, what stood out to you most today? Which sign do you recognize in your own life? And which one would you love to lean into even more? Because sometimes all it takes is seeing the strength that's already in you to completely change how you carry yourself through each day. This video wasn't just about longevity, it was about honoring who you already are and the quiet victories you've been stacking day after day. If any part of you feels a little more hopeful, a little more seen, a little more grounded, that alone makes this conversation worth it. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us, what's one insight you're taking with you today? How will you apply it? Reading your reflections fuels our mission and reminds us why this work matters. If this video brought you value, please take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who might need it too. Your support helps us continue creating content that uplifts, educates, and empowers. Thank you truly for being here with us. We can't wait to see you in the next video.